Alright, this video comes from section 6, topic 4, and we are going to start off with a quadratic given to us in standard form, and our goal is to switch it into vertex form, and we're going to use the vertex to answer questions about the axis of symmetry. We can sketch the graph using the x and y intercepts, so we're going to go through how to do that here. Alright, in standard form, we can see that a is equal to 1, b is equal to -4, and c is equal to -12. We get that straight from the standard form of the quadratic that's given. Alright, and with that, alright, we can determine whether or not this graph is going to open upward or downward. Alright, we know that quadratics make a parabola or a U, and because our a is equal to 1, and we have a positive a, we can see that that U is going to open upward. Or that parabola is going to open upward. Alright, our second step is to find our axis of symmetry. Alright, this is going to give us the h-coordinate or the x-coordinate of our vertex. And how we find that is take the opposite of b, which is +4, and divide that by 2 times a, which is 1. So 4 divided by 2 gives us our h, or our x, is equal to 2. Alright, step 3 is going to be solve the function by substituting in that x value into the quadratic. Alright, so we're going to find f of 2, and when I plug that in, that's going to be 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 12. Alright, so we're going to start off with the exponent. 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 2, which is 8, minus 12. Alright, and when we simplify this down, we will see that our vertex is going to be equal to 2, comma, -16. Alright, we have -20 plus 4 gives us -16. Alright, so now we have our vertex. That tells us, in this case, the minimum of our parabola. Alright, now if we want to find the y-intercept is found when our graph is at a value of x equals 0. Alright, so that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to find out when this graph is going to cross the y-intercept. Alright, so if it's already in standard form, alright, the constant here, or our c term, will be where it crosses the y-axis. Alright, so we can go ahead and say that our y-intercept is 0, -12. Alright, so let's go ahead and start plotting what we already know. Alright, so we know that this graph has a minimum point at 2, -16. Alright, so I'm going to go by 2's here. This is -2, -4, -6, -8, -10, 12, 14, -16. Alright, and if I go by 2's here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, hopefully that's enough. Alright, so we'll plot our vertex down here at 2, -16. Our y-intercept is right here at 0, -12. Alright, the axis of symmetry is how we can split this parabola in half. So we know that there's going to be a point equal right over here at 4, -12. Alright, but so far this parabola is kind of small. Alright, but since it opens upward, we can find out these zeros up here that will allow us to get more information. Alright, so since there are zeros, we know that we can try and factor this in order to find our zeros. So again, covering factoring, if we're factoring x squared minus 4x minus 12, all right, we know that our leading term will go in the top left box and our constant will go in the bottom right box. And we need to be asking ourselves, what can I multiply to give me negative 12x squared using multiplication? But if I add, I need to get negative 4x. All right, so I could try negative 1 and 12. That won't give it to me. I could try negative 12 and 1. That won't work to add and give me negative 4x. But if I do negative 6x times 2x, that would give me that. And then if I add negative 6x plus 2x, that would give me a negative 4x. So I'll use negative 6x and 2x. And again, the order in which you put those in the boxes does not matter, but your leading term needs to go in the top left box, your constant needs to go in the bottom right box. All right, now we're going to factor in all four directions. So my top row here, all right, the common factor is going to be an x. My bottom row down here, the common factor is going to be a 2. My first column, I can take out an x, and then my second column, I can take out a 6. All right, now here's where I'm going to check my work. X times x gives me x squared. 2 times x gives me 2x. 2 times 6 does not give me negative 12, so I'm going to make this a negative 6, and that'll work. And then x times negative 6 gives me negative 6x. So I know that my zeros are going to be x plus 2 equals 0, and x minus 6 equals 0. So solve for x. X equals negative 2, and x equals a positive 6. All right, so I can plot negative 2 and positive 6, and then I get a much more accurate parabola, just like that. All right, so that's all for this video. If you have any questions, post them in the comments, and then also post in the comments so I know that you watched the video and you can receive credit for watching it. All right.